Είμαι η Ηλία Μπανταβάνη, δημοσιογράφος του GRDiscovery και βρισκόμαστε στο διήμερο συνέδριο που διοργανώνει η ΕΟΚΕ σε συνεργασία με την Ευρωπαϊκή Επιτροπή στη Θεσσαλονίκη. Η τοποθεσία αλλά και η θεματική του φόρουμ έχουν συμβολικό χαρακτήρα, καθώς πριν από 20 χρόνια ξεκίνησε η πρώτη σύνοδος της Ευρωπαϊκής Ένωσης με τα Δυτικά Βαλκάνια εδώ στη Θεσσαλονίκη για την ένταξη των χωρών στην Ευρωπαϊκή Ζώνη.
So we are here in Thessaloniki after 20 years, after the Thessaloniki summit. At that time we had high hopes that the enlargement will continue, and we didn't imagine that in 20 years there will be no membership from Western Balkans. We are hoping that all the businesses will be easier. So we are now, after 20 years here, talking about enlargement. The good part is that enlargement is now high on the agenda of the European Commission after the war in Ukraine. And we have high hopes that the negotiations with some of the countries will speed up, that we will start negotiating chapters with Albania and North Macedonia. So I think it's a good momentum to be here. We are here with employers, with trade unions, and with organized civil society from Western Balkans. And we are trying to get civil society committed and involved in the process in the region.
Distinguished speakers, ladies and gentlemen, my thanks to President Oliver Röpke for the invitation to join you today. My apologies for not being with you in person. In her recent State of the Union address, President von der Leyen acknowledged that enlargement is at the top of the political agenda. We saw this at the discussions among leaders in Granada last week. The member state I know best is celebrating 10 years of European Union membership this year. Croatia's neighbors can observe the many benefits of European Union membership. I would like to say to the countries of the Western Balkans that our present and our future are intimately connected. Accession is a tough road. I know it well from my own involvement in the Croatian process. But the satisfaction of earning the reward of accession is one that is well worth the effort. That young people can have the opportunity to study what and where they want. That everyone has access to the skills and training that they need to fulfill their ambitions. That no matter what age you are or what background you have, each person has their rights enshrined in the European Union. I look forward to fruitful exchanges on these aspirations in my exchanges when visiting the Western Balkans in the coming months. Ladies and gentlemen, we have European elections on our horizon. These elections will be fought on the basis of trust. Trust to deliver what is needed and where it is needed, including trust in our dreams for the future. I think about enlargement in this context too. Our neighborhood will look at the European elections to see what standards we hold ourselves to. Civil society is a bridge between institutions and citizens, one that is by its very nature an inclusive one, which is why I welcome your initiative on enlargement candidate members to include them in your advisory work. The European Economic and Social Committee is the first of the European Union organs to do this. The European Union's enlargement policy is a geostrategic investment, but enlargement is also about people's daily lives, their dreams, hopes and aspirations. Membership of the European Union is a strong anchor not only for prosperity, but also for peace and security. People can only achieve their best life when they live in a secure and peaceful world. Enlargement needs to be a merit-based process. The pace of negotiations depends on the progress of the necessary reforms, in particular the rule of law. Any country aspiring to join the European Union is expected to uphold and promote our values of democracy, human rights and solidarity. I want to emphasize that civic engagement is a key element of a functioning democratic system, and civil society plays a fundamental role in this. Article 15 of the Treaty on the Functioning of the European Union recognizes civil society's role in the good governance of the European Union. Article 11 of the Treaty on the European Union stresses the need to have an open, transparent and regular dialogue with civil society organizations. The European Union expects countries that intend to join the European Union to create an environment for the constructive involvement of civil society organizations in policy making. And this is also why we need civil society on board in our upcoming Defense of Democracy package. Looking at the actions by the Kremlin and other third country actors, we cannot be naive. One of the main elements of the Defense of Democracy package is a directive on transparency. We need transparency on how the interests of third countries are represented. It is understandable that they wish to promote their interests, but we need to ensure that this is done in an open, constructive and accountable manner. The aim is to better protect freedom of expression in the European Union. The package will also contain measures on encouraging engagement with civil society organizations and citizens. And with the European elections coming up, it will also contain measures on secure and resilient elections. As I have said, these are crucial elections. They come after a distressing pandemic and during a war. They come at a time when our economies are being impacted by a demographic transformation that has no parallel. In striving to preserve levels of prosperity, we need to ensure that our population has access to the necessary opportunities and skills to maintain our competitive edge. I know that the European Economic and Social Committee is active in the European Year of Skills and will discuss it during this forum. It is vital that we include all vulnerable groups when it comes to skills development. The young, the elderly, the disabled, those living in rural areas. Making sure we leave no one behind. Here too, civil society plays a key role. The Commission is committed to working for the protection and support of civil society. The European Commission Citizens' Equality, Rights and Values Programme is funding with over €1 billion for the period 2021-2027. This is the biggest amount we have ever had for this purpose. In today's geopolitical world, we cannot take democracy for granted. I would also add that we cannot take our civil society for granted. Deepening our engagement with citizens can be done hand in hand with civil society to build a democracy fit for the future. And I look forward to hearing about the outcomes of your discussions in Thessaloniki. Thank you.
So yeah, today we are here in Thessaloniki on the Western Balkans Forum, and it's a 9th edition, which for me is really interesting that the editions continued, and for me it's really crucial that we meet here. So I come from Slovenia, on the top of the Balkans, sometimes even being left out of the Balkan idea. But what I like a lot is the fact that here we are joined in a kind of mixed setting. So it is some members of the European Economic and Social Committee, it is some members from all the states of the Western Balkans, and there are older people, younger people, and I really think that there is an option to have this kind of open dialogue here to start talking about the topics that are common for us all. I'm active in youth politics and youth activities, so for me, for example, it's really important. We're going to have today a panel on youth guarantee, which was a great success in EU countries. I even participated in some activities when it was implemented in Slovenia, and I think it has a lot of potential to be implemented throughout the Balkans.
I come from Croatia, so obviously it is my emotional and rational feelings towards the Western Balkans and the integration of Western Balkans into the EU. And we have been very active in the committee on the issues of Western Balkans via the JCCs, which are the bodies with the countries that have started the negotiations, which is Serbia and Montenegro, and with the others through the Western Balkan Follow-up Committee. It's a horizontal body, and over the years we have established really good ties with the civil society from the Western Balkans. In the in our work, we are doing visits, hearings, forums. We have just one. Next is JCC in Belgrade, and I think it's next month. And in our work, we are doing opinions, of course, and on the accession, on the IPA, on the youth, on green agenda, and I think I don't know which was the latest. We did also some time ago. We did opinion on the women, gender in Western Balkans.
We agreed that there is a political momentum for enlargement, a strong political momentum. Of course, triggered also by the war of aggression against Ukraine. And we as ESC, we took already, I would say, a landmark decision to support this momentum. Because we decided just recently to be the first EU institution that will involve civil society representatives from all candidate countries, from the Western Balkans, but also from the Eastern neighborhood and from Turkey in our advisory work. So we are pioneers in this respect, and I think it's important to see how big is the support for this initiative. And I could see today that there are a lot of expectations from trade unions, from employers' organizations, from civil society organizations as such. So it's an encouragement for us to continue this path, and we are absolutely determined to start our project in January 2024. We will have enlargement candidate members from all candidate countries that will come to the committee, that will work with us on key opinions that matter for people in candidate countries, especially in the Western Balkans. And I was also very glad to see that there's a huge support not only from the candidate countries and the civil society organizations, but also from the European Commission. Vice President Suica said that she absolutely appreciates this. I hear the same messages from the Council and from the European Parliament. And my last message is involvement. Involvement of civil society and of the ESC is key. We can see that we are stronger involved than before, but I think there are still instruments where we need a clear and strong voice of civil society, and the ESC is ready to play this role.
Σήμερα στην Θεσσαλονίκη γίνεται το Φόρουμ των Δυτικών Βαλκανίων της Ευρωπαϊκής Οικονομικής και Κοινωνικής Επιτροπής με στόχο την επίτευξη μιας κοινής διαδικασίας μεταξύ της κοινωνίας των πολιτών των Δυτικών Βαλκανίων και της Ευρωπαϊκής Ένωσης και την προώθηση αυτής της διαδικασίας το ταχύτερο δυνατόν. Η Ευρωπαϊκή Οικονομική και Κοινωνική Επιτροπή από την αρχή ήταν και συνεχίζει προπομπός των ενεργειών που πρέπει να κάνει η Ευρωπαϊκή Ένωση για να συνδέσει τα Δυτικά Βαλκάνια με την Ευρωπαϊκή Ένωση. Έχουμε μια πολύ ισχυρή παρουσία και συνεργασία με τους συναδέλφους της κοινωνίας των πολιτών στις Βρυξέλλες αλλά και στα Δυτικά Βαλκάνια, και για να το κάνω ευκολότερο, όταν λέμε κοινωνία των πολιτών εννοούμε τους εργοδότες, τους εργαζόμενους και τις μη κυβερνητικές οργανώσεις. Εγώ ως πρόεδρος της Επιτροπής Εξωτερικών Σχέσεων ταξιδεύω τακτικότατα στα Δυτικά Βαλκάνια, βεβαίως για την επίτευξη του μεγάλου στόχου που είναι η ένταξη των χωρών των Δυτικών Βαλκανίων χρειάζονται δύο. Χρειάζεται η Ευρωπαϊκή Ένωση να επισπεύσει τις διαδικασίες και να προχωρήσει γρηγορότερα την ένταξη των χωρών, αλλά απαιτείται και η άμεση μεταρρυθμιστική προσπάθεια των Δυτικών Βαλκανίων. Οι χώρες αυτές δεν είναι έτοιμες να γίνουν μέλη της Ευρωπαϊκής Ένωσης, δεν έχουν κάνει τα αναγκαία μεταρρυθμιστικά βήματα τα οποία είναι αναγκαία και κυρίως δεν έχουν πείσει την Ευρωπαϊκή Ένωση ότι είναι έτοιμες να γίνουν χώρες της Ευρωπαϊκής Ένωσης.